And so welcome back to UBC's Wolfson Fields, the Gerald McGavin Rugby Pavilion. Doug Cross bringing you the next round of action from the U18 Men's Division. Ontario 2 versus Alberta. Ontario 2 featuring a 1-1 record in this division along with Alberta. There's a real logjam. British Columbia 1, Ontario 2, Newfoundland, Alberta, all with 1-1 records. However, Alberta missed a bonus point there in one of those games. So in terms of point standings, it's Ontario 1 in first place in Tier 1 with 9 points. British Columbia with 5. That's British Columbia 1. Ontario 2 with 5. And Newfoundland with 5. So, and Alberta with 4 points. So important game here for Alberta if they want to improve their standings heading into the playoff rounds. So taking a look at the lineups here for the Albertans. It is Jake Horton in the front row, Andrew McMillan and Alec Butler, Trevor Leblickenhoff and Brent Hofstede in the second row. Ben Mayo is one of the flankers with Captain Wade Hodgen. He's an impressive player, and Brandon Powell is the number 8. Jake Bentley is the scrum half, working with Dan Schmidt, the fly half. Chad Manai Brophy and Connor McRae are the inside center, outside center combo. And it is Marcus Booker on one wing and Spencer Yates on the other. And Chad Bowles is the scrum half. Cam Rizkala off the bench, Oliver Mayo and Jack Hughes, Brandon Wayan, Ben Lesage, Liam Horn, Derek Bowyer, Dane McKinney, and Kieran Washburn round out this lineup. John Grant in the front row for Ontario 2, Andrew Gerain, I'm sorry, we're reading some bad handwriting here. Frank King, John Stewart in the second row, Jared Chen, Ian Smith in the back row with Peter Milazzo, who's the captain. Ryan Gam is the number 8. Mario van der Esthuizen and Alex Charest-Pekeski is the fly half. In the centers, Kyle Lagagska and Ethan Ferguson. McLean Wakefield on one wing and Brandon McLeod on the other. Andrew Silla is the fullback. Ryan Anderson, Keeson Porter, Gabe Beneteau, Nick Gattero, Adam Burford, Troy Matthews, Marshall Hogarth, Mitchell Richardson, Alex Benz, and Garrett Slingerland make up the bench. This game kicking off in a couple of minutes. We'll keep the pictures live and back with more in just a moment. So just a few minutes before kickoff between Ontario 2 and Alberta. Remember, if you're in the Vancouver area, it's a great day to play hooky from work. Come on down, watch some great rugby. Adam Kleberger will be here starting at 12:30 near the Rugby Canada merchandise tent, signing autographs for all the players here. Just real excited to be able to meet a star of Adam Kleberger's status. Canada flanker still recovering from injury, but will be back in the Canadian lineup, likely seeing action in the fall, starting with the America's Rugby Championship. Get him some games under his belt. And don't forget, we've got the Rugby Canada World Cup qualifiers coming up. First one is in Charleston, South Carolina, August 17th. It'll be shown on TSN2. Check local listings in your area. And then it's August 24th, BMO Field, Toronto. After 20,000 fans filled the stands against Ireland in June. Let's see if we can pull that trick again. A great venue for rugby. And then that next game will be the New Zealand Maori All Blacks playing Canada November the 3rd. Tickets available for that as well. As we get this game underway, Karen Lozada, the referee, whistles, but the start from Alberta, not going to the form book as number 17, Oliver Mayo, struggled to make that go 10 meters, and so it'll be scrum 15, scrum center rather, and first chance for Ontario right at midfield. They'll have the put in. Good scrum by Alberta. Ontario retains possession, but not without some pressure. As that ball goes down the line into the hands of Brandon McLeod. And his first touch is going to be a big one. He's going to score. Brandon McLeod gets around the outside cover of Alberta and dots it down under the posts. And Ontario, too, giving its clear signal that we're here to play and score, and you best be aware of it. Brandon McLeod getting the release pass down the wing, and just a superb run, taking it some 50 meters, and as he got around the corner, he just scorched the cover defense with his pace. Just watching the delayed feed of this. Sorry we don't have replay for you, but boy, a missed tackle on the outside, and he got around two more would-be tacklers and just goes under the post with clean heels. Pretty impressive stuff. As the conversion goes across, it's 7-0 now. So McLeod with a great try to start things off for Ontario. There's a nice high restart now. Boy, one thing you'll see from this Alberta team is they will tackle all day long and tackle hard. Ontario 2, by its very name, suggests there are two Ontario teams in this U18 division. And now blast of the whistle. And while there is some designation between 1 and 2, this is a very talented Ontario 2 team. Quick tap, look at the pace and the offload now. Great job by Mario van der Esthuizen of Ontario 2. Possession being retained by Ontario 2. Now that ball has gone static into the maul situation, so it's going to be a scrum put in for Ontario. So they'll set these front rows down. Got to say, with the new scrum laws and the new engagement instructions, scrums have been a lot steadier in this tournament. Now that I've said that, they'll come collapsing down probably. That's twisting and crabbing a bit, but it wasn't from the initial engagement. Now a whistle as Lozada gets both sides to stand up and reset. By his name, Van der Esthuizen, having some South African content to his background. A lot of South Africans over the years have relocated to Canada, especially in the 80s and the 90s, a big exodus of doctors to the prairie provinces in Ontario. Big push from Alberta. Ontario struggling a little bit at the set piece there. Great job in the offload now. Look at the quick feet. Ball goes to ground from the tackle situation. Grabbed up by Ontario again. And now a whistle. It's against Alberta. Offside, the call. Got to go back 10. And wow, despite scoring first points, they're going to take a penalty kick here. Early in this game, I find that kind of an odd decision. You know, they're obviously capable of running well against this Alberta team. Why wouldn't you kick it to the corner and organize a rolling maul? But that's not what's on offer as Van der Vesthuizen gets ready to take this penalty kick. So this effort will be from, some 34, 35 meters. Just a shade to the right of the posts. Van der Vesthuizen, a quality kicker. Has it got enough distance? No, it doesn't. Flags stay down. The restart from Alberta on the 22-meter dropout. Van der Vesthuizen's got 11 points in this tournament as of yesterday. So not exactly running away with the points total here. Now that's big work by John Grant of Ontario 2. Big prop burrowing his way through. Nice spin pass service to Alex Shere-Pekeski. Midfield defense holding solid for Alberta. Ontario getting that ball back from the breakdown. Quick pass down the line, immediately tackled, but Ontario retaining possession. And now that knock on, and was picked up by Lozada, and so it'll be a scrum to Alberta, and just about 6-7 meters out from their own line. This will be a key pressure situation. Ontario flankers will want to break away as quick as they can and put the release kick from probably Ben Mayo, or Oliver Mayo. His brother is out there. So it's Oliver who would be in position to kick there, and he is indeed parking himself about a meter deep into the line. But now Ontario fooling around at the set, and now they've got to retreat 10 meters, and Mayo will be happy with that instead of a pressure kick. Well, maybe he needed a pressure kick because he hasn't found touch, and here's the counterattack from Ontario. Just look at how tight the spin pass and the pace, and this is a great job by the outside center, Ethan Ferguson. He's gotten back on his feet. Now goes to ground, presents the ball back. Van der Vesthuizen. Oh, and a bad, cheeky pass back inside to Ian Smith. So lots of intent to play some wide open rugby by Ontario 2. It's the fly half. Shere-Pekeski gets it out. Van der Vesthuizen now driven back. Now the kick through, but not before a whistle from Lozada. Stops number 13, Connor McRae, from charging through. He had hacked through with his foot and liked his chances for a foot race there as the ball went pouring back through the back three of Ontario. Instead, it's going to be another shot at goal for Ontario. So have they made that decision now? Yes, the T coming out. So Van der Vesthuizen looking to add to the 7 points. Missed a penalty kick earlier, 11 points in this tournament so far. Didn't miss that first kick by much, and this one just maybe a little bit closer and a little more on center, 22 meters out from the line. No wind to speak of here. If there is any wind, it's in his face just a little bit, but like a baby burping in your face, not much to it. The ball's fallen down. So he resets that ball. He's kind of rushing things now. He's got a very hurried and very compact run-up to this. More like a golf swing than a run-up into a big kick. Steps back, and that looks like a better effort, but he's missed again. So this tactic of kicking for goal, Ontario 2 may have to reconsider, because Van der Vesthuizen is not targeting too well. That one going right. Don't forget to bring your debit card or credit card to the National Festival. You're coming to Vancouver. Lots of great stuff on sale at the Rugby Canada merchandise tent. As we see the try scorer, number 14, Brandon McLeod, upended. Alberta's taking that ball at the breakdown. Jake Bentley now serving it out. Inside pass to his trailing flankers. Bentley again. Now to Mayo. Mayo linking up with the outside center, McRae. Now a big high up and under, ill-advised off the side of the boot. And now there are players offside as a result of that kick. That ball went straight up in the air. Now Mayo will give this a big kick, and will he find touch this time? Yes, he will. So really first opportunity inside Ontario's half this morning for Alberta after 10 minutes. This is their first time into the Ontario 2 end. 7-0 our score, and Alberta very keen to get a win and possibly a bonus point win if they can here to go up in the standings. So I'll have the scrum here. I confess I was looking down at some paperwork, and I don't know why we're not having a line out there. There was a kick into touch, and maybe I missed the line out, and there was a knock on. That scrum standing up. Ontario, too, definitely feeling the pressure of that big Alberta squad. And some tight tackling midfield by Alberta as well. Ontario having the trap door shut on them. Good first up step by the flanker, Sheree Pekeski. Now driving up through the line. That's brought to ground. Pick, drive by Ontario 2. Keeping that ball off the ground. Now John Grant taking that to ground. And Ontario 2 took it in, but they'll retain the put in as it was tied up by Alberta. Would have thought that might have been an Alberta put in as a result of that, but Grant doing some good work at the number 1 spot, driving in there. Mario van der Westhuizen will put this in for Ontario 2. The backline set flat. Intention to kick this ball down the field. And look, it's stolen against the head. Bentley getting that out quickly. Now out to Connor McRae. And Alberta will score their first try of the game. Alberta working it hard down the right wing. Possibly Connor McRae or Chad Benai Brophy. We'll pick up that number for you in just a moment. Do we know who that was? So it was Connor McRae, assistant captain for this Alberta team, touching down and opening up Alberta's scoring account here this morning. So an important conversion kick to come here. Score 7-5 right now. And this will be a tough kick. Mayo will be taking it. Can't imagine the sandwich nicknames he must have. The name like Mayo. Teammates can be pretty clever and cruel at the same time. Well struck by Mayo. But the flags will stay down, and so Ontario clinging to a 7-5 lead after 13 minutes. But boy, that attack by Alberta shows what they can do when they have the ball in hand, and that will put some wind in their sails. Deep restart, Alberta under some pressure. Good clearance kick down the line. Fullback from Ontario, Andrew Silla, will have to deal with that. And he is bundled into touch before he can get that pass away. And so a great net gain for Alberta here as they'll have the line out just inside Ontario 2's half. So some 45, 50 meters on that exchange ultimately gained by Alberta here. Ball not quite on target. Alberta lost that one. Ontario pinching that in the line. Don't forget, for fans watching, Saskatchewan taking on Quebec at 12 noon in under 18 women's action. Then we have Quebec versus Ontario 1 at 1:30 under 18 men's action, and we finish our day with BC 1 versus Newfoundland at 3 o'clock. And again, that's men's under 18 action. A scrum very high from both sides, and Lozada's gonna have to police that a bit. Both teams have got to get just a bit lower. So Van de Westhuizen, scrum half for Ontario, waiting for these two front rows to come together. Michael Jones, the assistant referee, along with Rose Lebreche and Mr. Parsonage, fourth official. We're manning sin bins, player substitutions, and keeping track of scoring and the time, etc. Karen Lozada from Ontario. Used to live in my part of the woods in Newmarket, now lives down in the Woodbridge, Vaughan area of Toronto, north of the city. Picked up by Ontario 2 now. Quick, tight spin passes down the line. Look at Alberta shifting across. Now well past the gain line. That's the outside center, Ethan Ferguson. Now going to ground, Ontario 2 retaining possession. Van de Westhuizen to the fly half, Sheree Pekeski. And look at, they're just going in pods of 3 and 4 in support every time into the line. Very successful approach for Ontario 2 here early on as they're driving past that Alberta gain line. Oh, and that's kick taken over the top, but not before a whistle from Karen Lozada. She is calling some players over, and there may be a yellow card infraction here. She's walking with some purpose, and play coming back quite a ways here. She wants to talk to a couple of players here. Not sure what, I didn't see anything too untoward, but huge territory advantage being lost here by Ontario 2, and she's got her hand in her pocket. And it is a yellow card, and that's going to be to number 13, Connor McRae. And not sure what he did wrong, but he is going to pay the price for 10 minutes. As the captain, Wayne Hodgen, goes back and kind of stunned after scoring that try. That now, I'll try and get some word from an assistant referee or someone as to what happened there, because I definitely didn't see anything off the ball. Maybe that was the problem. I was watching that kick over the top. Something else had happened, but here's Ontario 2 with a missed opportunity. That ball has gone Alberta's side and is knocked on, so it will be Alberta's put in, but now Ontario 2 parked on the doorstep of Alberta's goal line. So Alberta, scrum half, Jake Bentley is going to get this in. That scrum just keeps bulging upwards, so I don't know what's going on in there. Big clearance kick from Mayo. Oh, and the knock on by the Ontario fullback, Andrew Silla. And so a big mistake. Get out of jail card for Alberta there. They'll have the scrum and the put in just inside their own half. And that gives them some definite breathing space as Ontario knocking on the door there at one point. Man advantage, remember. Yellow card to assistant captain Connor McRae of Alberta. And so they'll have to withstand the pressure for about another 6 minutes or so. 20 minutes gone in this game as we see Bentley get this ball in. Alberta's back line split in anticipation. And now that's a great take from Mayo. He holds on to it, legs pounding through the line. Drop ball under pressure. And the knock on, but not before a penalty being called for offside by Ontario. So the penalties killing Ontario too. Mayo quickly kicking that one into touch. And we'll have the line out down inside Ontario 2 territory. So Alberta with the throw in, Andrew McMillan will do the honors. Great lift into the line. Trevor Linklenikoff. Bentley gets it off to his captain, Hodgen. Now just 10 meters out. Oh, and another referee whistle from Lozada. A quick tap. Bentley to Mayo. Mayo's going to keep it. Will he make it across? Yes, he will. Mayo for Alberta's second try. Takes his team into the lead, 10-7. And he will likely convert this as well, just right of the post. So keep in mind, that's a shorthanded try. So really superb effort by Alberta to get on the front foot, being down a man, as Connor McRae is cooling his heels, literally under the shade of the referee tent over there. But an important try for Alberta here as they take the lead now. 10-7 rather. So this kick from about 23 meters, just right of the posts. It's got a bit of a tailwind to help him. There's the kick and flag is up. Mayo converts his own try. And score increases to 12-7 now. So Ontario, with the man advantage, must be concerned that Alberta was able to organize such a good attack. The fly half. Oliver Mayo just taking that ball full pace. Looked like he might be passing to the right, but he held it all the way and crashed across the line. He's big for a fly half, no doubt. And now that ball's gone off in Alberta hand. Ontario 2 playing advantage. Advantage is over. No, it's not. Now it's a penalty. Leaving their feet at the breakdown. Alberta will have to retreat 10 meters. Van de Hevesthuizen out to Pekeski. Now a chip through attempt gathered in by Alberta immediately. Over to that far touchline. It'll stay in play for now. And now clearance kick by Bentley. That is a great effort. That's about a 50-meter kick from where he did that, and that was a kick over the top under some extreme pressure. So he'll be happy with that. Ontario will have the throw in, but certainly a better story for Alberta having that line out at midfield as opposed to dealing with a mess in their own end. So Alberta on the ascendancy here in this first half. 24 minutes gone of this 30-minute first half. Hodgin trying to put a big tackle in. Ontario 2 retaining the ball, keeping those legs driving like pistons. Very well-drilled team, the Ontario teams that we've seen. Tight passing and very precise running and running in pods and groups, always working together. Driving into the line now. Third phase here for Ontario 2. That's Van de Vesthuizen. He's got a bit of a limp now as he picked up an injury. He's trying to walk it off. Doesn't look too bad, but not ready for sprinting action right now. Alberta counter-rucking now. They've stolen that ball. Mayo flips that out to the second row. Brent Hofstede. And now it's a foot race. Ontario tacklers there trying to bring down Alberta. Now they've done it. Ball stays Alberta's side. Now pick and drive to the right. And that's Bentley. Will Bentley score? Just shy of the line. Whistle brings it up. So just short of the line, Alberta stops. Bentley trying to take it all the way himself, and it doesn't work out, but it's going to be a scrum for Alberta. So a great opportunity. And we just wonder if Brandon Powell, the number 8, has got a special play for in close. Number 8s and scrum halves love to work at these at the end of training, where it's the number 8 pick and then a backdoor pass, just a no-look offload left or right of the scrum. So let's see if we have a bit of that activity off of this scrum, because Alberta has definitely had to go forward in the scrum department against this Ontario 2 team. No, it'll be a straight shot from Bentley to Mayo. Mayo scoring the second try of this game. He's brought to ground. Alberta there in numbers to keep that ball their side. And now a whistle and time off, and there could be another card here. This one might be going against Ontario. Yes, it's a yellow card, repeated infringement. And I think that's number 3, Frank Kang, going off. 7. How a 3 looks like a 7 in my world, I'll never know. That's Captain Peter Milazzo. And so the captain, the flanker for Ontario, will go off. And so even numbers here for a few minutes. Alberta's Connor McRae will be coming back on in probably about a minute or two. But Alberta wisely saying, look, we got a gift here right in front of the posts. Let's build this into a 2-score game, because a penalty will take it to 15-7. And so that means a converted try and another try or a penalty in order to get back in the lead for Ontario. So tactics coming into play now with the decision by Mayo to take this sitter. And the flags go up. Alberta leading 15-7 over Ontario 2. So Ontario 2 having their flanker sent off, Peter Milazzo, and when we have the halftime break, I'm going to find out what some of these infractions were, because that's first send-off is still a bit of a mystery. Well taken by number 11, Marcus Booker, but he's returned the kick to fullback Andrew Silla, who's driven well into the line. And Ontario, with the clock closing out, want to score here, but Alberta has got other ideas. Oh, look at the foot race here. This is a second row player, or a back row player. And what a try by number 6. That is the flanker, Ben Mayo. So 2 Mayos figuring in the scoring here for Alberta in this first half. And, you know, keep in mind, these teams are at equal strength right now, despite the send-off. And an offensive eruption here in the last few minutes from Alberta. So that makes the score 20-7 with another easy conversion. And so Ben Mayo, the brother of Oliver Mayo, doing a great job. And I mean, he outpaced everyone in that Ontario line. and would not be stopped. And a size mismatch for sure, as the back three of Ontario didn't fancy taking down the big flanker from Alberta. And this conversion will likely take us to halftime. Easily struck. And indeed, it is halftime with Alberta leading 22-7. A heck of an effort from this Alberta squad to come from behind after Ontario opened the scoring. And now tries from Oliver Mayo and his brother Ben Mayo. And just trying to remember who the other try was from was Jake Bentley, I think. And so just like that, Ontario in the lead. So we're going to take a quick break in the action, keep this stream going. Second half action coming up from UBC's Wolfson Fields. Back in a moment. So back for second half action here from UBC's Wolfson Field in the superb Gerald McGavin Rugby Pavilion. Temperatures cooking now here as we get ready to restart this contest between Ontario 2 and Alberta. And Alberta, both teams still short players are, no, it looks like Alberta's back to even strength. But Ontario, too, has had a send-off. That Alberta send-off of Connor McRae was for a dump tackle. And the send-off for, I think it was Frank Kang, was for repeated offsides at the breakdown. So we've restarted with Ontario playing from right to left, and they have got a scrum situation here immediately around the Alberta 22-meter line. But Alberta just erupting with scores here in the late part of the second half, getting tries from the Mayo brothers, Oliver Mayo and Ben Mayo. The flanker had a superb run from about 50 meters, breaking through cover D to touchdown unmolested. Only a try in the first couple of minutes from Brandon McLeod, the bright spot for Ontario too so far. Boy, some great running from the returned Connor McRae. Oh no, I'm sorry, Connor McRae's Alberta. I'm gonna get my sides reversed here. And that's Ontario trying to get into the line. Kieran Washburn. Alex Benz for Ontario now. And Troy Matthews keeping that ball Ontario's side, but they've got to do some rucking to save it. And they're playing that on the ground now. Comes back to Van de Westhuizen. Oh, big crushing run from Ontario front rower. Big tackles being put in by Alberta. And now, penalty. Not releasing the ball at the breakdown. Ontario will retreat 10 meters. And Mayo, the fly half. Mayo, as opposed to the flanker, Mayo. Oliver will kick this into touch, and he's given that a good ride to get them back into Ontario 2 territory, where they will try and keep up the pressure. Remember, Ontario shorthanded here for at least another, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Couple of sets of hands trying to get to that ball. Ultimately, it's Alec Butler from Alberta who secures it, but not before a bit of a fist fight here for the ball, and now Ontario 2's come away with it. And a kick down the field and a bit of a late tackle on the Ontario player as the fullback for Alberta, Chad Bowles, gives it a kick back. Ontario will counterattack now. Sideways attack, but now they've found the corner. Oh, and look at the wonderful pace here by Liam Hoare, 21, Troy Matthews. Troy Matthews has scored to get Ontario back into this. So Matthews getting his team back on the board here. 12 points now to 22, so just 10 points adrift with the conversion kick to come. So Van de Westhuizen had not a great first half of kicking, taking a couple of shots at goal and missing them. So see if his kicking boots have improved at all. And no, he's pushed that one wide to the left as well. So the score will stay 22-7. Sorry, it's 22-12. I was looking at the infield scoreboard, which hasn't switched over yet. So Ontario's got to find another 10 points here to get even with Alberta as Oliver Mayo gets the restart here. Oh, and Ontario letting that ball drop. That's Jared Chen. And so we're going to take the knock on, but it was an Alberta player, I think 14, Spencer Yates that may have knocked that on. Ontario 2 will have the put in. He was coming down the wing and kind of overshot the runway a bit and got to that ball just as an Ontario player was there, and you know, the contact situation made him pull up short as he was trying to get to that ball. New scrum half for Ontario now, number 17, Keeson Porter, replacing Van de Vesthuizen. Bit of a retreat here by Ontario too from that initial spin pass from the breakdown, but a penalty as Alberta leaving their feet in the tackle area. So Lozada has shown that her patience is thin for infringements at the breakdown, so it will do that at their peril and possibly get carded again. That's a superb clearance kick down the field. That's probably a 50-meter effort, getting Ontario 2 well into Alberta territory at the 22-meter line. Nice take up in the air by John Stewart. Quick service from Porter. Now drop ball, frustrating for the speedy winger Troy Matthews. He looked like he had a beat on the outside line, but he needed the ball before he could complete that. A bit of a miscue there by Alberta. Knock-on advantage being played. Keeson Porter, scrum half for Ontario, just missing the target a little bit. Now Rose Lebrecht coming out to help Karen Lozada with radio communications. So Keeson Porter will put this in. And Ontario steeping up their backline attack here. Ontario 2 wants to get another try on the board right away. Don't forget, looks like their player will be coming back shortly. And that engagement a little early, and Lozada will have it a third time, but I think she's warning these front rows to listen to her instructions. Lozada's got a lot of respect from the players. I mean, she's diminutive in stature, but she is not afraid to talk to these big guys and tell them how it's going to be. National panel referee for the last couple of years. And the put in by Yates. Sorry, Porter. That ball's gone to ground. Bit untidy. Pressure time now for the fly half. Pekeski. Sheree Pekeski at the bottom of that pile. And now a bit of a forward pass. That was a bit of a clanger by Keeson Porter going the other way. And could that mistake be turned into points? Not yet. But that ball going back, and now the offload. And Alberta and great support. And look at them just pouring through with pace. And Alberta, quick as a cat, getting down the other end, 60 meters from that mistake by Porter. And now still driving just a couple of meters short of the line. Ball's gone loose, whistle from Lozada, offside from Alberta, not rolling away in the tackle situation, sorry. So now Alberta will have to retreat 10 meters, and Ontario 2 will be looking to initiate a big long kick here and relieve some of this pressure. So that is a great touch finder by Ontario too. As the fire trucks go by here again. They're a busy brigade around here at the UBC campus. Someone must have let the toast burn. And that's a great take from the Alberta number 8, Ryan Gam. He just went up and basically stole that ball from Ontario 2. Superb effort there, as it was Ontario 2's throw in from the penalty. And seems like Alberta's all about converting mistakes into points. They're very quick on the turnarounds. So 12:30, Adam Kleberger coming to take in some of the festivities. We're hoping to get an interview with him at some point. Oliver Mayo kicking that one down to the corner, and that is just a terrific kick. Boy, oh boy, and the fans appreciating that. Ontario thinking quick throw in, but Matthews thinks again as Alberta cover wing comes down. Might have just grabbed that up for an easy score. So Oliver Mayo just quick as that, just booted that across field and gets his team to within a couple of meters, though it's going to be a defensive line out for Alberta. Ontario will have the throw in. Andrew Quatrain is going to throw it in. Ontario 2 trying to protect that ball. Well, they get the clearance kick opportunity. I think that might have gone off an Alberta hand. I'm not sure. No, it didn't, but they bought themselves some space there as Rose LaBrush marks where it went out of bounds, and it will be Alberta throw in. Field 2 adjacent to us, we've had a player down that's requiring an ambulance, and we hope things are going all right over there. Always sad to see players leave the field in anything under their own steam. We've got an Ontario player going off the field. Can we pick up what number that is? Alberta gets that ball down the line. Mayo stepping back inside is Connor McRae. That ball's knocked on, I think, in the line. Nope, not picked up. Bentley, the scrum half, doing well, going a few meters. Immediately wrapped up by Ontario 2. Good work by the Ontario flankers, getting to those the scrum half and to the ball carriers quickly, as Connor McRae is wrapped up, but not taken to ground. Now he's gone to ground. Great presentation by McRae. Bentley there quickly. Low spin pass to Hodgen, the flanker and the captain of this team. He goes hard into the line. Bentley, busy worker. That ball goes back, but not before number 5, Brent Hofstede, gets to it. Linking outside to the far wing. That's Marcus Booker. Alberta, a sustained attack here. This must be 10 phases now. No mistakes. Great job. Now it's McRae. He's got a half gap. He'll keep going. He'll score. Connor McRae, his second try. Alberta adding to their lead. Makes the score 27-12 with the conversion to come. And Alberta hoping to get a bonus point. They are going to be there. I think that's a 4th try of the game. Yes, it is. And so important bonus point. If they can get that with a victory, that will help them in their quest for improved standings. Earlier we reported that Alberta, yes, Alberta's got 5 points, And Ontario 2 and Newfoundland have got 6 points, and BC 1 at 7 points. So Alberta 2 with a victory here, or Alberta today with a victory will go well in their seeding quest. This is going to be the kick from Mayo. Flags go up. Important kick from Mayo there. (29-7). Sorry, 29-12 for Alberta here. Ontario will kick back to Alberta. That's something they'd like to do, I'm sure. Big tackles being put in by Alberta as Ontario tries to get back on the scoreboard here. Oh, great first move. Look at the gap and the offload. Is there support enough to get Ontario through that Alberta line? Quick ball gone to ground, going back the other way. Yates. Porter. And now, good clearance kick by Alberta. Takes the pressure off. Look at as the flag of the touch judge on the far sideline, the assistant referee, got to break that habit. They're not just touch judges anymore, they are assistant referees. And so that has gotten Alberta some much needed relief. Ontario too will have the throw in. The early lift there potentially. Number 1, John Grant coming out, or no, that's Jake Horton for Alberta coming out, and also Brent Hofstede coming off the field after some good work there. The big second row deserving a break. Remember, it's about player preservation as heading into playoff rounds. You got to think about that. Hodgen, the captain, taking that from the back of the line. One step inside by Mayo. Ball staying Alberta side. Bentley considers his options, goes right, drop ball. Does it go back? Yes, it does. But Ben Mayo dropped that ball. Now, ultimately, it was a knock-on. And so Ontario, too, will have the put in just a hair inside the Alberta half. The wheel just about on, says Lozada. Porter getting that out the line. I'll miss one through Troy Matthews. And here's a chance for Ontario. Flying down that wing into touch. So Alberta using the sideline to its advantage in corralling those Ontario speedsters into touch. Next up at 12 o'clock, we'll see Saskatchewan taking on Quebec in under 18 women's action. Had thousands of people watching our stream so far this week. Great to have you along here, wherever you might be in the country or around the world for that matter. Great to be on YouTube live streaming, a new service offered by the video online giant. Great to be a partner of content provision for YouTube. And they've worked really hard, thanks to William Mao of the New York office and Albert Cheng from the technical services area there for getting ourselves set up, as we have Matthews from Ontario kicking over the top. Might want to reconsider that one as the hooker, Andrew McMillan, gets to that for Alberta. Hodgen, the flanker and captain, holding his arm. He got a bit of a shot there. Great clearance kick. Ontario struggling to find the handle on that one. They've got a bit of time to men to beat here. That's the scrum half. Porter, he's made a mistake. That ball has gone into touch. So good pressure by Alberta, forcing the error on Porter. And it will be a line-out for Alberta inside Ontario territory. Good chance to see them on the near sideline now. McMillan will do the throwing honors. Gotta love that Alberta kit with the mountains across the bottom hem there. It's a very sharp design as Hodgen bounces that off his shoulder and the line advantage being played, and that ball going quickly down the Ontario line. Look at the pace here. Stunning stuff. Pass back inside now. Ontario stays on his side of the ball. No, he's lost it. Ontario has stolen that, but maybe there's little hands on the ground. I don't know. It's going to be a scrum to Alberta. Judged unplayable at the breakdown by Lozada. Number 5 for Ontario coming off, I think. Yes, that is Jared Chen coming off. And also number 8 for Ontario coming off, Ryan Gam. We'll pick up those change numbers for you in a moment. Two front rows come together. Bentley with the put in. Alberta still dominating in that scrum. Mayo now, a high chip to the wing. How's that going to work out? Fielded cleanly by Ontario too. I think that was Porter that got to that one. Now quickly down the right wing and into touch. So Alberta's shift defense working well this morning. Alberta having a bit of problem with their passing. That ball's gone to ground. Pressure time now. Ontario trying to force the error. Knock on. So Ontario will have the scrum here. Ontario 2. So BC 1 beat Alberta 54-10 to open this tournament. And then on day 2, it was a 12-10 win for Alberta over Quebec. Ontario 2 with a 1-1 record. Fell to Ontario 1, 58-7 on the first day. And then Ontario 2 winning 55-14 over Newfoundland. And so that's how these teams are 1-1 this afternoon. So now Brian Kelly starting to herd some of the players from this tournament down to see Adam Kleberger, who is arriving for an autograph signing here next to the Rugby Canada merchandise tent. And he'll be wandering around and watching some of the games and saying hi to the kids. But yeah, great chance for some of the young players to meet a great player for Canada. Alberta, Bentley on the ground there. He's trying to get that ball back. He's done well. Substitute scrum half in this situation, getting the ball well out. Number 16 for Alberta, Cam Rizkala. That's the fly half. Now Dan Schmidt. Who's not the fly half in actual fact. Oliver Mayo's the fly half, but he wears 10, and some great first up tackling now here. Ontario 2 trying to keep that ball their side. Advantage being played by Lozada for Ontario. Porter. I got to say, Porter not having as strong a game as Van de Vesthuizen in terms of passing and decision making. Big tackles being put in. Ontario player writhing on the ground now. Good bit of sportsmanship as an Alberta player just checked in to make sure he was okay as he was running by, but play continues. The physio treats the player. Now kick down the wing, and now the fullback for Ontario 2, Silla, dealing with this on his own. He offloads. That's to number 11, McMillan Wakefield. Drop ball, midfield, lost opportunity for Ontario 2. And they were playing shorthanded for a couple of minutes as that Ontario player trying to get up on his feet. Definitely having some problems with the right leg there. I say it's 20, sorry, 21? 24 for Ontario. That's Alex Benz, and he'll come out of the game. (29-12), Alberta in the lead now. Just 6 minutes left in this game, so time may be running out for Ontario 2 to get the comeback. With the victory, Alberta would move to 2-1, and they've got the bonus point as well, but too early to tell what that'll do in the standings without having the other results on the day completed yet. Remember, next game, Saskatchewan versus Quebec, 12 o'clock. Bentley will have the put in for Alberta here at midfield. Now we've got another player coming on for Alberta. He is racing in, kind of a crucial piece to the puzzle. The number 8 replacement for that scrum is not settled all day long, and now another restart as it collapses. Both teams have been going in very high and just not getting that big set and shove that they're looking for. And I guess that's showing that they're pretty equal. No one's getting the upper hand. And so it's a bit of a static situation. Not the big crash of recent times when the two front rows come together. The scrum half, Bentley, kick down the field by 18, Jack Hughes. Chad Bowles is going to have to deal with that kick over the top. Back in behind his own line. He fools around with it a bit, but it went backwards and now shanked off the side of his boot. He won't be happy with that clearance kick. Ontario 2 licking their chops with a few minutes left. They could still get another score here. Throwing in now for Ontario, Gabe Beneteau, wearing the number 18. He puts the ball on the ground until everyone's there and ready to go. Aerial ballet continues for Ontario 2 as we get Porter getting that down the line. Porter again. Full back into the line, Andrew Silla. Now, big tackles being put in now by Alberta and Ontario as the ball goes to ground. Bouncing off the first up tackle, that ball's gone to ground now. Pressure time for Ontario to get into the line, but the knock-on will give Ontario the scrum. Now things touching off a little bit as things are getting a little ragged around the edges. So this will probably be one of the last big chances for Ontario 2 to score some points here, even with the victory out of reach. They want to narrow the points for and against gap with such a tight table in the Ontario or the under 18 men's division. you know, some of those points could be crucial without even knowing what the result is. You just take care of business when you can. That's Porter relying on the 8 to drop that off to him. Ball spinning to the right now. Has Ontario gotten across? Try given. So late in this game, we'll try and pick up who's scored that. Hearing Adam Burford may have scored that for Ontario. We're in the number 20. (17 to 29) with a big conversion kick to come. Well, I wouldn't say big, but they'll bring them to within 10, but really only seconds left in this game. At the conclusion of this match, we'll be stopping the feed, resetting. Refresh your page close to kickoff at 12 o'clock, and you'll receive the new feed for the next game, which is Saskatchewan and Quebec, live on YouTube. For all the scores and scoring details and match reports and photographs, go to nationalfestivalrugby.com. That's a great resource to follow your favorite team in every division. It's got great tabs for each division and great scoring sequences and everything else, and box scores as that kick is just wide. And that is full time as predicted. So final score, 29-17. Alberta with a great victory over Ontario 2, improving to 2-1, while Ontario 2 drops to 1-2. Pleasure bringing you all the action. More coming up at 12 noon Pacific. Doug Cross saying goodbye for now. Talk to you real soon.